The free $20,000 MLB 10 runs for free cash contest is now live at SBRforum.com. What is the contest? It's simple. Each day in a designated SBR Forum post, you pick one team that you think will score 10 or more runs that day. You qualify to win $100 that day if you are correct. Each day the game continues, you pick another team. And every time your team scores 10 runs, you'll be adding onto your total score. The contest is split into 3 segments, and at the end of each segment, the top scorers split $2,500. And at the conclusion of the contest, there's even more cash up for grabs, in total over $20,000. And I know what you're thinking. You can just pick the Yankees every day and win. No, you can only pick the same team once per week. Check out the link in the description for more info and see you in the SBR Forum for the contest.
Folks, welcome in to sportsbookreview.com. It is Monday, and it's time to talk some Major League Baseball. Friday night was very profitable for me, but we are the team to get you ready because I'm looking right now, September 20th, not a long way to go till the playoffs start here. So let's get into it. I'm Donnie RightSide along with Jason Radowitz and Purviance. We're the sportsbookreview.com Major League Baseball team. It's an action-packed football weekend, action-packed baseball weekend. Jason, welcome in on a Monday.
Yeah, last week I went 0-2 on the official plays in the MLB. So, look, things are getting a little bit harder. However, I will say all the value plays that I give out on days I don't make official, of course, those are hitting. So we're still hitting at a solid pace. Just, those one unit plays did not, do me well over last week. But I do have a play today. Hoping we can get back on track. And I know a lot of people will be watching the NFL game, but my game a little bit earlier should finish before the NFL game. So I guess that's, if someone wants to tail, I guess they could do that and then also watch the NFL game afterward.
Yep. The one good thing about baseball season as we start to wind down, Kyle, is I see the roofs are now being opened in the desert. How's it going, Kyle?
It's going great. Let me clean this up for Jason a little bit. All of his hits. Yes. All of his picks hit last week.
Correct.
He hasn't lost on 3 months. He's on a crazy hitter, and they are official. Everything's official, and he had a great week. But no, I'm trying to remember what the hell happened to me on baseball on Friday. I don't think it was great, but I don't remember. I swear to God, I don't remember. But I'm ready for baseball today. It's always a good refresher. Get warmed up. Get ready for some football as well. This is if you're a sports fan, this is prime time, right? Baseball and football at the same time. Time to rock and roll.
Exactly. Welcome in on a Monday here. 89,300 subscribers to the channel right here on our YouTube at sportsbookreview.com. If you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, please do so here and turn your notifications on because when we go live and talk Major League Baseball, you can come into the chat box and have some fun. Also, you saw Lee Martin talking about the baseball contest, which is still in effect, and also the Pick Six contest in the NFL going on right now. $50,000 up for grabs, $1,600 per week. You can get involved with that at any time. So if you like free money and you want to have a chance, think you're very good at picking games here, whether it's college football or professional football, get in on that and let's have some fun. Now, let's talk about this Major League Baseball card here on a Monday. In-game live updates, don't need them. Why? There's no games that are actually in play right now. So we're going to dip right down to a Major League Baseball game with a lot of precedence here because these teams are fighting. Or I should say Tampa Bay's in. Toronto fighting for a playoff spot here. Ray will be on the mound, the lefty, versus Baz. 9-15, 9-16 on the rotation. Slate favorite here towards Toronto on the road. 131s to 130s, depending on where you're shopping at. A low total. Typical of the trop here. 8s, even some 7.5s across the board. Jason, we'll start with you first today. Toronto needs this one. Tampa, young kid on the mound. What can we anticipate tonight between these two?
Yeah, so look, Shane Baz, the number one pitching prospect for the Rays, taking the mound. And, of course, we always talk about how great the pitching staff is and how they develop guys in Tampa Bay. So, you expect a solid performance from him. Will he go deep? Probably not. You know how Tampa Bay rolls with their starters. So, probably 4 or 5 innings in a bullpen game, through there for the Rays. And, the Blue Jays, they've been good. 201 ISO, weighted OBA, 352 against righties. Also not striking out too often either. So there's something to like out of those Blue Jays. And, of course, they need this game really more than the Rays do at this point. Now, on the other hand, you have Robbie Ray. This is a guy with 44.4% strikeouts in the last 30 days with a 2.44 xFIP and walking just 5.6% of the batters. Now, the Rays lineup, it does look solid too, 214 ISO. But the one thing that they do a lot of, and we know we talked about this plenty of times with the Rays, they strike out 24% of the time against lefties in the last 30 days. So, yeah, I'm assuming Ray should have a solid day when it comes to high strikeouts. He's done it against them previously, just had 13 against them in his last start. So I do like Robbie Ray and the Blue Jays here, but again, it's tough to know what Shane Baz will do for the Rays and how that pitching will go over there. So again, I will stay away from, but I do like the Blue Jays a little bit more.
Yeah, Blue Jays trying to creep into the playoffs here. Looks like a couple teams from the AL East will occupy those, Kyle. Take a look at the Red Sox. 1 game up in the wild card. The Toronto Blue Jays, 1 game up on the Blue Jays. And the Blue Jays, 1.5 games up on the sinking New York Yankees, who are 5-5 in their last 10 games. The Blue Jays 7-3 in their last 10. The Boston Red Sox 7-3. Big game here tonight with your quote-unquote ace on the mound for the Blue Jays.
Yeah, and Robbie Ray has been sensational against Tampa Bay, especially in his last 3 starts. 168 fantasy points in his last 3 starts against Tampa Bay, and including a 67 in his last start just here very recently and a 64 in the start before that. Absolutely sensational. And then you've got, the WCW television champion Shane Baz on the mound. I don't know a damn thing about this kid. So I tend to fade those debuting,
scheduled for one fall.
Yeah, exactly. With the 15-minute time limit. That's what we got going on here with Shane Baz tonight. And so I lean Toronto here. I like him in the first 5 innings. The number's good. If you take a minus 0.5 in the first 5 at plus 105. Who would you rather have, Shane Baz or Robbie Ray on the mound? It's an unproven product with Baz. And then we have Robbie Ray here, who's been great. So, look, I just trust the Blue Jays can be a tough team to trust at times, don't get me wrong. But with that lineup and the pitching advantage tonight, I am leaning towards the Toronto Blue Jays, and I like that plus money in the first 5 innings.
How about this next game we're going to talk about? 9:05, 9:06, St. Louis and Milwaukee. Slow down those St. Louis Cardinals here. Now, look, Milwaukee's going to be headed to the playoffs, but apparently right now it looks like the Cardinals are as well. 3 games up on the Cincinnati Reds, 3.5 up on the Phillies, and those Padres now sit 3.5 games back. So we'll see if with some of these teams fighting towards their playoff lives, I don't really know how to really make of this, because St. Louis seems to be sneaking along in the night and somehow look like they're going to be easily into that wild card position. So if you are an NL East better, I guess you could say it's the Phillies and the Braves coming down the home stretch, because it doesn't look like any one of these teams from the NL East are going to be able to claim one of those wild card spots. But tonight's Woodford versus Peralta, heavy favorite for Milwaukee, minus 215. Look, St. Louis is in the driver's seat to get into the playoffs here, but now taking on the Milwaukee Brewers obviously gets tougher, particularly with 225s, 210s on across the board, 8s as a total in this game, Jason. Pitching advantage, one would think, would be towards the Brewers. The Brewers have this locked up. Just because you have to win doesn't mean you're going to win, but hey, let's see what the Cardinals, hot in September here.
Yeah, so look, the Cardinals, they can thank the Mets for letting them sweep earlier last week. And, so we're one of the the major reasons why St. Louis is out in front right now. But, also we made fun of the Cardinals getting Lester, getting Happ, and, filling up their starting rotation a little bit due with some injuries to like Flaherty and whatnot. And here they are, fighting for the postseason with Lester in the rotation and whatnot. So interesting stuff there from the Cardinals. But I will say Woodford does have a 5.33 xFIP, striking out just 16.3% of his batters. But if you look at his stats in the last, let's just say September, he's allowed 3 runs in 13.1 innings pitched. He's allowed no runs against Milwaukee already. This was on September the 4th. 5.1 innings pitched, 2 hits, no runs, 5 strikeouts, also no walks, and got more ground balls and fly balls in that game. So really interesting stuff there. Woodford, really your average pitcher that has, I guess, been a little bit lucky in September, but so far he's been able to get the job done. He won't go deep in this game, so you're looking at maybe 60 to 75 pitches, then he'll be out of the game and go to that bullpen. And of course, you watched Peralta last week. Peralta looked really good for the Brewers. He went 6 innings against the Tigers and allowed just 2 hits, 9 strikeouts in that one. So kind of got back to the Peralta that we kind of saw earlier on in the season. So, 2 solid pitchers that are pitching well in this month right now. What lineup looks better? Both of them are pretty average. When it comes to power, St. Louis has a little bit more power. But when it comes to, probably getting on base and potentially scoring more runs, that would look like Milwaukee. So another tough game as we're breaking down games in, late September, things get a little bit more difficult. But another game, it's more of a toss-up than anything.
Yeah, we'll see. St. Louis and Milwaukee. How do you make the playoffs? How about winning 8 in a row here in September to sort of grasp that 3.5? But again, it gets a little bit tougher here, Kyle. You're going stepping up in competition, playing Milwaukee. Different mindset. Milwaukee saying, hey, we're in the playoffs. St. Louis saying we still need to get to the playoffs. But obviously, pitchers, batters, they don't lay down. It's not like, hey, we got the playoffs next week. Let me just strike out 3 times and hurry up and go party after the game. That's not the case. That's still why we have a 2-to-1 price here on the Milwaukee Brewers.
Yeah, and look, in this situation, I like the underdog. I'm gonna take that big number. So it's kind of contradictory numbers here. The lowest weighted 3-year OPS on the card is Peralta versus the Cardinals lineup. So that's at 563. When you look at Peralta's last 4 starts against the Cardinals, 3 of those games he had single-digit fantasy points and was absolutely raked. So it's like, okay, he profiles well, but this team has hit him very well. And look, Peralta, I know he was good last week against the Tigers, but a couple starts before that didn't look like himself. And it's easy to look good against the Tigers. They strike out a lot, and they don't have any damn talent, right? So that sort of helps out here. Do I trust the Cardinals? Not that much. Do I trust the Brewers? Even less. Woodford, pretty up and down. This is not a great pitcher. I would certainly say Peralta's better than Woodford here. But when I'm getting a price at plus 175 on the money line in the first 5 innings for the Cardinals, I'm pretty interested in that. It's a 50-50 game. When I have 50-50 games, 2 teams, 2 playoff teams, and I'm getting a number like plus 175, I'll take it. Give me the underdog. Give me the Cardinals.
Yeah, it should be a fun one to watch here because, again, still some teams fighting for playoff positioning. And every win matters here. So if the Cardinals pick up a W, that's going to be significant. Another game that matters tonight, late night on the West Coast, 9:40 p.m. East Coast time. Seattle and Oakland, 9:21, 9:22. Battle of the lefties. Anderson versus Manaea. Heavy favorite here towards Oakland. Open up offshore Pinnacle at minus 144. We now sit at minus 170 here in New Jersey. At FanDuel, this one opened at 156, now sits as high as 180. 8s across the board here. And when we take a look at the wild card standings here out west, it's do or die time. This is an elimination round because Oakland Athletics are 2 back of the wild card race. Seattle 4 back. So even if these teams split, that's not going to do them a lot of favors. And that's probably what the Red Sox and Toronto Blue Jays are looking for, as opposed to a sweep for one team to try to get back into the race. Jason, take a look at this game out on the West Coast. Low totals here at Pitchers Ballpark.
Yeah, look, low totals make a lot of sense in this one. Even with the Athletics going up against Anderson, who's a lefty, they're going to have 7 righties in that lineup. You have Olsen and you'll have Brown, and I would think that those are the 2 lefties that you'll get in that lineup against Anderson. But this lineup still a 177 ISO, which is about average, maybe a little bit above average, and a weighted on-base average of just 286 against lefties in the last 30 days for this Athletics offense. So, again, we talked about the A's. Their offense has not been nearly as good and in September, and that's why they're struggling to make the playoffs now. So it's tough. Anderson has not been great, 5.43 xFIP, but you can't really trust Oakland to score many runs, but they have a 2.286 weighted on-base average. And then, of course, the Mariners are not so much better against lefties either. A 164 ISO and weighted OBA of 311. And probably the better pitcher, obviously, 24.2% strikeouts, 4.2% walks. So he's definitely the better pitcher, but neither lineup really screams like it's going to go over. So I do like the under in this game, especially with this game in Oakland. The under all the way for me in this one.
Yeah, Kyle, looking at this matchup here, pitching-wise, at least over the last 30 days, specifically looking at the Oakland Athletics going up against lefties, it hasn't been that pretty. But then again, Anderson going up against anybody hasn't been that pretty. He's got that 5.3 xFIP over the past 30 days. Not a ton of strikeouts here, but both lefties and righties getting the best of him. So it's up to Oakland to wake up. They still have a legitimate chance, it looks like, to get into the playoffs, possibly being 2 games out with about 2 weeks to play. But you want to lay that price? Mariners are a sneaky ball club here. I'm not in love with Manaea on the mound, but if I had a free wager and it was plus 100, I would be looking at Oakland, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, the numbers dictate Oakland. And Manaea, look, he's a really, really, really up and down type of pitcher here. You look at his last 5 starts, got a couple sensational games, and then 3 really, really bad ones. You look at his last 2 starts against Seattle, both in the 60s, both went into the 7th inning, looked really, really good. Of course, Tyler Anderson's fadeable every time he's on the mound. So I would lean to the A's, but am I going to hang that price on the A's? Hell no. This is a stay-away game for me. I just have zero interest in it. I don't see any value anywhere on the card on this game unless you're going to take the underdog and hope that they can hit Manaea. Don't like betting either of these teams. I did see the Seattle team total at 3.5. I suppose that is live. I could see them getting to 4 runs in this game. Huge game for Oakland. You would think they would win this game. They need to win this game. I would slightly lean that way, but I don't love it. So if you want to do like a little value menu thing on it or throw just a few bucks on it, I wouldn't. This is certainly not a full unit play for me.
Yeah, that's code for it is a full unit play for Kyle, as we like to shift it around here. Value menu wagers on the card tonight. There's not a lot that I loved here. I actually circled 2 plays, but I really only like one. I'm going to go with it right now. And it had to do with a little trigger for me as I'm capping the games where I like this. In the middle of the day, you get a little update that says, hey, by the way, roof's going to be open out in Arizona. Been a while, boys. So the roof is open. Heat and humidity will be allowed in that building. The Atlanta Braves will get 9 at-bats no matter what happens in this one. Going up against Mejia, who's the anticipated pitcher, 4.5 xFIP over the last 30 days. Not a lot of batters he's faced, but look, just against right-handed general pitchers here for the Atlanta Braves. They've done very well. Take a look at the ISO power numbers up and down the anticipated lineup tonight. Being in the National League ballpark, there will be 8 eligible batters. 7 of those. Look at these ISO power numbers. 246, 185, 176, 460, 382, and 240 versus righties this month. Give the Atlanta Braves tonight. They need every win they can get. A little bit expensive here, 4.5 minus 150 at BetMGM, but I thought it was worth a flyer here on a Monday. That's where I'm going tonight. Let's go. Hey, look, I'm a Phillies fan. I want the Braves to hit and win tonight. How do you like that? I like money. Jason, what are you talking about here?
I guess we're on the same page here as a Mets fan. Yep. The Braves over 2.5 in the first 5 on the team total at minus 120 makes plenty of sense. You talked about the lineup. I'll talk about Humberto Mejia a little bit. He's only had 5 starts in his entire career in the MLB, 3 with the Marlins last year and 2 with the Diamondbacks this year. He's thrown to 5.14 ERA, a whip of 1.71, 21 innings, does have 21 strikeouts, but also 9 walks and 27 hits, 14 runs in those 5 games. So hasn't been great for him in the MLB with the Marlins last year and with Diamondbacks this year. So like you said, the Braves have plenty of power in this lineup. Obviously, with the the stadium being open with no roof, that's huge too, and they should be able to score plenty of runs in this game against Mejia. So over 2.5 in the first 5 on the team total for the Braves is the value play for me.
Yeah, our odds boosts are going to come up in a second, which this game has a correlation for me, Kyle. But your value, where is it on the card tonight?
Yeah, I just panicked and found an odds boost while you guys were talking because I forgot to do that this morning. Completely slipped my mind. What the hell is happening? It's like a midlife crisis or something. So for me, I'm going to go in first 5 innings. Astros over the Tigers, minus 0.5 in the first 5. It's minus 140. You got Valdez on the mound for Houston, who, look, I like to fade Framber Valdez. He has let me down time and time again. But anytime you get Matt Manning on the mound, I'm taking the other side. Now, I know that kind of bit Jason in the ass last week a little bit, but, we're going to go back to it. I'm not sold on Matt Manning. One of the highest, not Matt Manning, Jamie Berry. Matt Manning's against the White Sox. I almost took the White Sox, but I can't trust the damn White Sox, and I hate Tony La Russa. So my fault. Let me start over here. Houston over the Angels and Jamie Berry. Berry has been okay. It's still a 794 weighted 3-year OPS. When you look at Valdez, much lower at 651. 3 of his last 4 starts, 35 or more fantasy points there. I do like the Astros over the Angels. Let me get my stuff together here. Minus 0.5 in the first 5, minus 140. That's my value menu play of the day.
All right, let's get to the odds boosted section on the card. And as I alluded to here, that Atlanta Braves 4.5 minus 150 correlates nicely with this one. Not a lot of boosts out there. You can see some of the books shifting over now to say, hey, we'll throw some crumbs to Major League Baseball, but now we're shifting over to the odds boost on Monday Night Football. That's fine. We'll be able to find some details here. Fox Bet here. Freddie Freeman, 2 hits or more tonight on Fox Bet at a plus 200. Freddie Freeman, 372 weighted on base average. K percentage, 9.6% against righties. That means the ball will be in play. I'm going to get a full 9 at-bats. Freddie Freeman, if we're going to get 5 runs, should factor in well with 2 base hits tonight. So nice little correlation. Give me 5 runs. Give me 2 Freddie Freeman hits. Let's cash in this ticket, Jason. What are you looking at tonight on odds boosted?
So on DraftKings right now, they do have Freddie Freeman to have 2 hits at just plus 175. So
that's what I was going to take. That was going to be my one.
So again, look at different, sites and, obviously DraftKings kind of shafted you a little bit with Fox Bet giving you plus 200. So something to look at there. Just when you see an odds boost, it's not always an odds boost. Make sure, it actually has a, positive expected value there beyond whatever the odds was actually supposed to be. Anyway, for me, I'm going to Joey Gallo to hit a home run, boosted from plus 250 to plus 320 on DraftKings. Gallo, 490 ISO in his last 64 plate appearances against righties, striking out 32.8% of the time. But, if you get the bat on the ball, that should be a home run against a righty here in Alexi, who has a 5.41 xFIP. And, Gallo, again, he's destroyed righties, so it's a good look there. And The ISO for Alexi in his last 35 righties against 23 lefties is 0.00. So that's going to be pretty tricky. But again, Gallo's been a monster. 490 ISO against righties in his last 30 days. So we're going to roll with it. We're going to try. We're going to see. It's kind of a small sample size for that 0.00 ISO. Hard to sustain that. So I think Gallo gets the job done here.
I love it here. Odds boosting. Before we get to Kyle here, Esteban, behind the scenes, I know you're listening. Throw that check mark up for me. Go ahead, Kyle. We got that odds boost there, brother.
There we go. That's right. Only the check marks on the left hand. Well, since and it doesn't shock me at all that that DraftKings is shafting you with the worst number, because that's what DraftKings does, is they shaft their customers.
I'm not a big fan of DraftKings. I'm telling you, I'm not a big fan of DraftKings right now with what I see from lines and all that stuff. So let's go, DraftKings.
Yeah, they just don't care about their customers, plain and simple. I'll just tell you that right now. I know they don't. So I had to scramble through again here. So this is pretty quick, and I typically don't like doing these little 2-game parlays, but over at FanDuel, they have the Blue Jays and the A's to both win, boosted from 185 to 230. I do think the A's get it done with Manet on the mound, and like I said, I like Ray on the mound better than the television champion over at WCW. So I'll take the Blue Jays and the A's to both win at plus 230. I wouldn't go crazy on it. Again, I found this in about 35 seconds here, so I haven't had it. But as I look at it, and I look at those two games, I do expect both those teams to win. They both need to win to stay in that playoff race. A's and Blue Jays to win. FanDuel plus 230.
By the way, who's bringing the heat here in Major League Baseball on September 20th, midway through football season? These three guys right here. So if you want to hit the thumbs up, you want to hit the thumbs down because you can't stand baseball season, go ahead. We love the engagement. The chat box bringing the fire. Close to 300 people watching, knowing there's a Monday night football game tonight. You guys are awesome out there in the chat box. Thanks so much for letting us enjoy what we do. And certainly, when the chat box is fired up, we get fired up as well. Best bets on the Major League Baseball board. I don't necessarily have one, but the only game I'm playing tonight is the Atlanta Braves at the 4.5 minus 150 on BetMGM. I'm just going to ride with that tonight. You know, we'll have some fun with the Monday Night Football game, but I do think there is money to be made in Major League Baseball, and I think the Braves are going to make me some money tonight, Jason. What are you looking at tonight? Best bets and bankers, if you have one for your card tonight.
Yeah, so we're going to go with the Nationals over 1.5 in the first 5 on the team total at minus 150. I got it on DraftKings. I have not checked to see if they changed that number, but I'm sure you can get a 2 number at like WinBet, PointsBet, to name a couple. So we're going to go with the Nationals again, and the Nationals, they've scored now 9 runs in 17 hits in about 9 innings of work for Luzardo in 2 games so far. 1 at home, 1 on the road. So they've done plenty of damage against him. And like I always talk about, the Washington Nationals are fantastic against lefties. Now, it would be fun if they still had Trey Turner there, if they still had Yan Gomes there, Josh Harrison. They don't, but they do have some guys like Lane Thomas with a 273 ISO and a weighted OBA of 541, striking out just 12.8% of the time, walking 15.4% of the time, hitting line drives 50% of the time, and with a batting average of balls in play of 571. He's a leadoff hitter against lefties, and he's been fantastic against them. Same with Soto, same with Bell. Zimmerman has 2 home runs against Luzardo. Also, Keyboom is not striking out too often and also walking. So Mercer, Adams, so much to like in this lineup for the Nationals. Really, against any lefty, they've been really, really dominant in the last, I guess since the deadline, really the entire season, but that was just an entirely different lineup. Either way, Luzardo, 5 xFIP, striking out 20% of the batters and also walking 8.7% of batters as well. Ground ball rate is low, line drive rate is high, and he's been awful against righties. In this lineup, you'll have all righties outside of Soto. Soto, obvious on-base percentage king. He'll get on base no matter who he's facing. So love this lineup. The line drive rate at 28%, and the batting average of balls in play as a unit, 351. Of course, the pitcher does bat at the 9th hole, but at the end of the day, just need 2 runs, 1 bloop, 1 blast, and you get the job done against Luzardo. And they've done this already twice in this short little stint for Luzardo as a Marlin. So going with that, over 1.5 in the first 5 on the team total for the Nationals here.
Hugo Valencia says Kyle can't use Nike anymore. By the way, I mean, I think check mark. Go ahead, Kyle. What do you got? Best bet. There you go.
For this guy. Reebok pumps for this guy.
LA gear for Kyle. Maybe a little
I love my LA gears.
Sure.
With the lights on and my stonewashed jeans, and I had them folded up. Come on, I killed it back then.
Baby. Slippery when wet out there.
It was slippery. Oh, damn right. I still have that album downloaded. Anyway, okay. So my play of the day. Now look, it's an American League team going to a National League park, and we were banging on Ranger Suarez pretty hard, and we've kind of turned him into like an ace for the Phillies. I don't know what the hell has happened, but Ranger Suarez has been very good. But you know who else is good against lefties? Those Baltimore Orioles. You go to for BetMGM, you get the Baltimore Orioles over 2.5. at -145. This is the best I can remember this Baltimore lineup profiling in a while. They're going to stack righties: Mountcastle, Urias, Severino, Hayes, Mancini. I don't even mind the home run prop on Trey Mancini. Ranger Suarez, although he's been good lately, he has a 1022 OPS given up to right-handed batters. Going to have a bunch of righties in the lineup for Baltimore. That team total is too low for me. Yes, it's an American League team in a National League park, so the pitcher's going to have to bat, which stinks. But they're also going to get the full 9 at-bats guaranteed. They only got to get to 3 runs. We're going to go for some pain, and we're going to take a bad baseball team with nothing to play for. Orioles over 2.5, -145.
All right, let's get to the odds lightning round and spin it around Major League Baseball, see if we can find some value here. We got an afternoon baseball game here. I do appreciate this Major League Baseball. 4:10 p.m. tonight. That is Kansas City and Cleveland. Why? Because it's a doubleheader. That's why. But we'll talk about this game because it is a 4 o'clock game. At least we know the starters in this game, which we don't know at 7 o'clock tonight. Across the boards, -150s, -165s is high here in New Jersey. 7s as a total. And you say, ooh, that's a low total. Once again, people, keep in mind, it's a 7-inning ball game, so 1 run per inning would get the job done. Singer versus McKenzie. Just some quick thoughts on this, Jason. I know we don't really look at these doubleheaders, but at least we know it's early afternoon, centerpiece game, and obviously we know who the starters are.
Yeah, look, McKenzie's been phenomenal, really, the entire second half of the season. A 3.19 xFIP, striking out 31.8% of the batters, also walking just 4.5%. Both lineups, they're average lineups, but at the end of the day, there's probably better guys in the lineup that can face Singer here, who's allowing 21.2% line drives. And you got guys like Ramirez that can do damage from the left side. Zimmer's in there. Bradley's in there. Jimenez in there. So there's some lefties that can do damage against Singer, who also has a 333 ISO against lefties in the last 30 days. And I know he was on the IL or a scratch from his last start. So, who knows how long he'll be able to go. And in a 7-inning game, he probably has a shorter leash than McKenzie as well. So I like the Indians in this spot.
6:40 tonight here. Pittsburgh and Cincinnati. Cincinnati's still trying to fight for a playoff spot here. Peters the lefty versus Gutierrez the righty. 182 offshore, Kyle. We opened up with Pinnacle. We're down to 165 now. How about New Jersey? At 196, now down to 172. Money coming in on the Pirates, and a total of 9.5 across the board to let you know the level of these two pitchers tonight.
Exactly, yeah. Two pitchers you just can't really trust. I liked what Gutierrez was doing, about a month and a half ago, and then it's just really been a train wreck. Besides, one solid start about 4 starts ago. My insides, my heart, my head, they tell me to lean the Reds here. They should get it done. But it's hard to trust the Reds, and we've seen them they haven't been that same sort of lineup lately. Now, they do profile pretty nicely today off of Peters. I do have Castellanos on my home run list. I do think they can score some runs. You can get a -0.5 in the first 5 at -120 if you want to go that route, although it's really hard to trust Gutierrez in those first 5 innings. The lineup profile's nice. We've got advantages here of 28, 21, 10, 16, 52, and 10%. That team total is a little bit interesting at 5. I would probably buy it down to 4.5 and pay the juice at BetMGM so they could get to 5. For me, I'm staying away from it. Too hard to trust the Reds, and I'm not sure I want to lay that price. And I haven't had to do this in a while. 300 people watching, only 55 people hitting the thumbs up. Come on, people. Hit the damn thumbs up. But I'm not even yelling. I'm saying in my calm voice, hit the damn thumbs up, people. Show us some respect. Thank you very much.
All right, Washington versus Miami. Fetty versus Luzardo, the lefty, 6:40 tonight. So a couple games trying to get off before kickoff tonight. How about this one? 8 across the board and a pick'em. The battle for last place in the NL East, Jason. Any advantages here?
Yeah, so again, Luzardo, a left-handed pitcher, and the Nationals, they do really well against left-handed pitching throughout the entire season, and they got a plenty of guys in the lineup that can do plenty of damage. So I'm on the Nationals over 1.5 in the first 5, the team total at -150 via DraftKings, and that's my official play. We already talked about it, so we'll shut up here.
There you go. Look at that, Kyle. Take a little pointer here from Jason Radowitz on that nice, clean, crisp. Chicago White Sox versus the Detroit Tigers. Rodon, the lefty on the mound, versus Manning. If we take a look at some possible weather conditions in this game, wind blowing in about 10 miles an hour, 75 degrees for the forecast night. But you got a big total here. I know you're not happy with the Chicago White Sox. Now you'd be happy with paying a $245 price here at FanDuel, $233 offshore at Pinnacle. 9s across the board here tonight. Jose Abreu maybe in the lineup tonight. We'll see.
It's, look, do you want to be holding the bag with Matt Manning on the mound? You do not. I finally get to bag on him here as I finally got the right game here. I was close to having the White Sox on the value menu because it's so juiced up, and Rodon is exponentially better than Matt Manning. I mean, there's no world where Manning's a better pitcher, But the White Sox have been hard to trust, and you don't know what Tony La Russa is going to do. Sometimes I don't know what the hell happened. He just wakes up and goes, you know what? I'm going to throw the AAA squad out there and let Rodon pitch and call it a day. So it's really, really hard to trust the White Sox at this price. They're minus 0.5 in the first 5. The numbers moved. When I woke up, it was at 165. Now it's at 155. So that starts to tell you people are starting to put some money in on the Tigers because the White Sox are tough to trust there. I mean, I lean the White Sox. I like Rodon exponentially more than Manning. To 798 weighted 3-year OPS for Manning here. His last start against the White Sox, he put up a big 2 fantasy points here. Lean the White Sox, but I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole.
Let's go, Bray. Go yard tonight. Go yard tonight, son. Texas versus the New York Yankees. Alexi versus Cortez. The last effort for the Yankees here. And hey, why not? Mr. Cortez is a minus 275, Jason. Can you believe it? 8.5 across the board here. Just shows how bad Texas is. But at the same time, does that mean we want to lay a price of minus 280 or higher at some of these outlets?
Yeah, you don't want to do that. But I do think the Yankees probably end up winning this game. They have a lot of power going up against a righty in Alexi who has a 5.41 xFIP, and he's also walking 15.5% of the batters. So let's say he walks a couple batters, and then you make one mistake to any of these power guys like Rizzo, Judge, Stanton, Gallo, Gardner, Sanchez. Doesn't matter. They hit it over the fence at Yankee Stadium, and now it's a 3-0 ball game, just like that. So that could happen when you're the Yankees, and you're also when you're Alexi and you're walking 15.5% of batters against a top power team like the Yankees. So yeah, I think the Yankees over on the team total. I think I see a 3 in the first 5. That's fair. If it's a 3, it's a push, so it's not terrible. And then if you get 4, you get the W. Hard to obviously back the Yankees. I know we talked about this all the time that they kind of struggle early, but against a pitcher like Alexi who has an xFIP that high and a walk rate also that high, it's possible the Yankees can hit one out on one mistake and then score 3 runs just like that.
Absolutely. Baltimore and Philadelphia here in the city of brotherly love. 2 lefties on the mound. Means versus Suarez. We talked about it earlier. Minus 220 is high here at DraftKings. Minus 220 at Bet365. Even minus 200 or higher offshore at Pinnacle. 8 across the board here. The Phillies really need this one. But hey, when the Phillies play a good baseball team, the Phillies sometimes are a good baseball team. When they play bad baseball teams, the Phillies usually also a bad baseball team. And the upsets brewing here is Ranger Suarez to the rescue with 5 strong innings tonight, Kyle.
Yeah, and I love this genius in the chat box. Sean, I absolutely agree with you. You are 100% correct, and thanks for showing the love in that chat box with that comment of the day. So, look, this is dog or pass for me. I like the Orioles. John Means profiles better against this Phillies lineup than Ranger Suarez does against the Orioles lineup. That's just what the numbers are telling me here. Advantages across the board. Let me just give you the 3-year advantages here for Baltimore tonight. 29, 35, 39, 56, 46, 57, and 54%. This is dog or pass for me. I know Suarez has been better lately. Look at the weighted 3-year OPSs. The highest on the card is Suarez versus the Orioles. One of the lower ones, 688, Means versus the Phillies. I think Baltimore is a live dog tonight. I think they get to those 3 runs. It's my play of the day. And I like the plus 175 on the money line in the first 5 innings. I think the Orioles come out and get it done and break the hearts of you Phillies fans, much like the Eagles did yesterday. There we go.
Yeah. Look at that check mark next to my name.
Yeah, exactly.
Astros and the Angels tonight. Valdez, the lefty, versus Barria, the righty. Minus 200s to minus 220s across the board, Jason. 9s also across the way as well. Angels just playing out this ring. Tani, swing for the fences. Get the 50 home runs. Otherwise, who cares about the Angels?
Yeah, I just want to address the chat 1 second.
Whoa.
I see a.k.a. Piff or whatever your name is, talking about these different trends that the Nationals are 2-8 in their last 10 or whatever. But you can't go off those trends because I'm talking about the Nationals hitting lefties. So 8 of their losses could be against righties and 2 of their wins could be against the lefty. Those trends have they don't have any correlation to what we're doing, what we're backing. So a lot of the trends that are put in the chat, some make sense, but when you're going back to like 2000, you're going back to a team facing righties when I'm telling you that they're really good against lefties, it makes no sense. So let's think about it here. When you look at them against lefties, Nationals destroy. Well, against righties, obviously they're not very good, right? Because they're at the bottom of the NL East. So clearly they're not a good baseball team. But against lefties, they're very good. So let's that's just a point that I need to throw out there because I don't care if they're 2-8. 8 of those losses could be against a righty and 2 of those wins could be against a lefty. So do your research and then you'll know what to pick. Anyway, going back to this Astros game, the we can just right here, right, going up against the lefty here for the Angels, right, 0.087 ISO, weighted OBA 239. They've been awful against lefties. Valdez, 4.01 xFIP, and also getting ground balls 66.7% of the time. So he's destroyed. So expect the Astros to have a big game here. Should be able to shut down. The Angels could probably if Ohtani's not in the lineup, then forget it. And then you have Houston. The top of the order is still pretty good, going up against righties here, like Kyle pointed out as well. So the top of the lineup should do well. Lots of line drives in the lineup as well. And Brea also walking 10% of batters. So expect the Astros to dominate, but whenever I take the Astros, they always seem to fail me. So hoping Kyle gets a different result.
Not tonight.
By the way, heaven forbid also that Jason gets a check mark before Kyle in the show. Boy, it would be interesting to watch.
That would be unacceptable.
Is that resignations? Are we talking about resignations at that point?
I don't know what I would do. That would be a sad, sad day. I'd probably come in here. I'd have curlers in my hair or something. I'd look like an old lady from 1950s. It'd be really.
A couple darts in your mouth over there.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, it is what it is now.
Smoking.
Time to sit back in. Chain smoking it up. How about the last one of the game we're going to talk about again tonight, which I really like. I think it's a decent shot here. Atlanta and Arizona. Heavy favorite for Atlanta. Needs the wins here. We'll see what we get out of Mejia. But the one thing I do think is going to be possible, both teams can get runs tonight. You got 9s to 9.5 across the board, as we said. Welcome back to opening the roofs, but still not for the guys in Texas. 80 degrees. A little too much to sit out there. But at least in the desert, they're real men out there, Kyle.
Yeah. And look, I misspoke earlier. I didn't see this number. Actually, the highest weighted 3-year OPS on the card is Humberto Mejia versus the Braves. I love that Braves team total over 4.5. I absolutely agree. It was one of my favorite team totals on the card today. Braves should hit. I'll make this short and sweet. Braves, and more Braves, and I like that team total over 4.5.
All right, there it is. A nice action-packed Monday show here. I know you guys are going to enjoy some football because both myself and Kyle are going to be coming up shortly here on the opening lines to get that fresh look at NFL action. But before we get out of here, as we always do, clearing the bases to let you guys know exactly what we are on today. For myself, just one play, Atlanta, 4.5 minus 150 at BetMGM, and also an odds boost at Fox Bet here. Freddie Freeman to get 2 or more hits at a plus 200 tonight. Jason, what do you got for the good people out there?
So we are going to be on the Braves over 2.5 in the first 5 on the team total at minus 120 as a value play. And we said Gallo for a home run on DraftKings at plus 320 as an odds boost. And, of course, the big play of the day, Nationals over 1.5 in the first 5 on the team total at minus 150. If you need 2 or 2.5, I still like it. I still think it could hit. Luzardo has allowed 4 and 5 runs in his 2 starts against the Nationals, and that's without even finishing 5 innings each.
All right, Kyle, what do you have tonight?
Hey, I'm just saying Election Day in Canada, no one to vote for. That's a very easy solution. You write in Celine Dion. That's the greatest treasure that Canada has ever given. My heart's trying to go on without a check mark, and it's a little difficult, honestly. It hurts a little bit on the inside. So we're going with on the value menu, the Astros minus 0.5 in the first 5. That's at minus 140. A play of the day is the Orioles over 2.5 runs at minus 145. Odds boost, the Blue Jays and the A's to win, boosted to plus 230 over at FanDuel. And for those of you who want the home run props today, Nick Castellanos, Freddie Freeman, I know you guys like hearing that, and Aaron Judge are the 3 guys I have pegged for home runs tonight.
All right. Thanks for joining us here on a Monday Major League Baseball show. We'll do it once again here on Tuesday as our drive to the playoff continues right here at sportsbookreview.com. But we are expecting to catch tickets in tonight. Myself and Kyle getting ready for the football show here, but we will all 3 be back, as I said, once again tomorrow. I'm Donnie Seymour along with Jason Radowitz and Kyle Purviance with the sportsbookreview.com Major League Baseball team. And this was your show for a Monday. And as always, good luck on those wagers.